Alrighty, good evening and happy Thursday as we welcome you into Unioto High School, the site of tonight's Division III District Quarterfinal matchup between the Unioto Shermans and the Miami Trace Panthers, along with Shane Combs. My name is Dewey Daly as our tournament coverage begins tonight. The trail has begun. It should be a fun one to follow as we go throughout the tournament. We're going to start in Division III here tonight. Shane, glad to have you back here on the call.
Hey, love being with you, Dewey. I think we've had an incredible regular season. Now we turn our attention to the postseason, and you and I tried to strategically put the schedule together and spread some love Division 3, 4, and 5 throughout the next couple weeks. And, yeah, I agree. This first stop here tonight with Unioto hosting Miami Trace, I think we're in for a really good one. These two teams kind of mirror each other, and you got to dig deep into the film to find some different advantages on both sides.
And that's one thing, Shane, that you talked a lot about pregame. These are two teams that haven't played a ton recently. The last time they met, I believe, was in the tournament back in 2021. That win for Unioto as they beat the Panthers in 5 that specific night sparked a 9-game winning streak that is still going today over FAC opponents. So they haven't lost in quite some time against Frontier Athletic Conference teams. Now 5 of those are against Chillicothe, who they play relatively. Obviously, they played 2 times this year. They play relatively frequently, but as you said, these are two teams that their playing styles are similar. The personnel is similar. You really do have to conduct a bit of a deep dive to maybe find some advantages, some disadvantages for both teams.
Yeah, the scheduling aspect, when you were throwing that number at me, it surprised me a little bit. I think sometimes in volleyball, Dewey, the scheduling can be kind of weird because of some of those weekend tournaments. You get used to going to certain things over the years. I know Unioto holds their own here. So, yeah, sometimes the scheduling's a little bit different in the non-league. But to your second point there, they really do mirror each other. Both teams come at each other in a 5-1 attack. Outstanding setter play with Kylie Yazel on the Miami Trace side and Kinsley Batson on the Unioto side. And what I like about both teams, they don't really have a rotation that jumps out at you as a whole in terms of the match. Like a lot of teams we've watched this year, they might be really good for 3 or 4 rotations, but then you'll see a rotation they'll get into, and you're like, ooh, wait a minute, that could really hurt them. I don't see that with these two teams, and I think the reason being is both teams always have an elite hitter in the front. On the Miami Trace side, they go with the 2 Laurens opposite of each other, Lauren Ferens and Lauren Guess. Of course, on the Unioto side with Zoe Detweiler and Charlotte Dennis. So they always have kind of an elite go-to that averages around 3 or 4 kills a set. And I think that's probably a big reason on why they don't get themselves stuck in a particular rotation that hurts them.
You mentioned that 5-1 attack for Miami Trace. Obviously, Lauren Ferens, Lauren Guess, those 2 big hitters you're going to watch for tonight. We saw Lauren Guess have quite the night at Chillicothe back in the first trip around conference play at the Hatton Gymnasium. But this past, I believe it was Monday against Athens, it was Lauren Ferens, 26 kills in 4 sets, right around 6.5 kills per set. She's the SOSA FAC Player of the Week, and she's had quite the start to her tournament in her senior year.
Well, that was well-deserved. I actually watched that match back here in the last day or two in preparation for tonight, and it's what I really like about Yazel at the setter position. She recognizes the hot hand. She'll continue to go. Again, Miami Trace not going to be nearly as balanced. Those two will get a lot of the swings. But on that particular night, they got Ferens going early and often, and she really ended up taking over that match, particularly those first 2 sets when they built that 2-0 advantage before winning in 4.
Now, you mentioned the setter matchup tonight. Kylie Yazel, the FAC Co-Player of the Year alongside Chillicothe's Evelyn Hammond, but also Unioto's sophomore setter Kinsley Batten, both extremely sound in setting the volleyball, but they're also live when they're across that front row. They both average about 0.8 kills per set. They definitely keep defense's attention towards them when they're going across that front row.
Yeah, they really do. They play the game with high volleyball IQ, and Yazel's been so consistent over her 3 years. She's already up over 2,100. I think she'll go over 2,200 here pretty early tonight in this particular match, and she's just a junior. Dewey, what I love about Batson as a sophomore, Unioto, even though they have those 2 go-tos that I talked about in Detweiler and Dennis, they play a lot of kids. They'll mix and match their rotation. So Batson has a lot to balance in terms of knowing every hitter, but not only knowing every hitter, but knowing, hey, who's going to be where and what set, because sometimes they might flip the rotation and put some different kids in. You'll call out a lot of kids in the front row tonight, from White to Patterson to Watson, even Grubbs off the bench a little bit to go with them. So that's a lot on the sophomore quarterback, but she seems to do a nice job of distributing the ball where it needs to go.
And Shane, one thing we talked about pregame for Miami Trace is that they played 21 matches this season. Only 7 of them have been in their home gym in Fayette County. They've had 11 road matches and 3 neutral site games, so 14 of their 21 matches have been away from their home gymnasium. They're definitely a road-tested team coming into tonight.
I think that's important, too, because as this place starts to fill up, it may not quite get an SVC atmosphere, but as this place starts to fill up, it's a smaller gym, and you and I have seen it get rocking a little bit in terms of just some of the energy and so forth. You know, Unioto comes in 11-1 at home. You and I were here the night that Adina got them in 5. Their only loss, and then, like you said, Miami Trace, they've had a real nice record on the road. I think their only road losses, Logan Elm. I think the Circleville match was at Circleville. It was in a tournament. But nonetheless, it gives you an idea about how this group's been through some pretty big matches over the last couple of years, and I think they'll be more than prepared to take on the road atmosphere here this evening.
Shane, you mentioned those losses to both Circleville and Logan Elm. Obviously, if you follow FAC volleyball, if you follow Miami Trace volleyball, you'll know they held a 41-match FAC winning streak prior to that loss to Chillicothe the second trip around. This is a Miami Trace team. This isn't just us making an observation. It's a Miami Trace team that on the inside feels that in the non-conference they've challenged themselves much more this season than maybe in seasons past, and you really get a feel of that when you check into their non-conference losses, such as Waverly, Wheelersburg, Circleville, Logan Elm, and Marietta, some very tough opponents.
Well, there's no question about it, and I think that, you know, when you go through a 3, 4, 5 year run like they have in the FAC, I think I don't want to say conference title becomes assumed because this year Chillicothe shared it with them, but I think at the same time you understand that in order to take that next step, you want to start pushing yourself a little bit in that overall schedule. And those teams you just rattled off, certainly a who's list. I also like that they played some 5-set thrillers. I know Hillsborough took them 5. Wilmington, it was a 5-set win. So that helps as well. Is that if they get into a 4 or 5 set marathon here this evening, they're battle tested and they're prepared to handle it.
And Miami Trace, certainly a program that is led by one of the best coaches in the area. Doug Mace captured his 400th win earlier on this season and was around September 23rd in a straight set win over Jackson. It's quite the milestone for Coach Mace.
No question about it. And what that does is it screams longevity and consistency, right? So it's kind of like the identity of the team. They're very consistent in what they do. They have a strong back row passing attack led by Ackley wearing the different color jersey. And then, as I said, Yazel's going to do a great job of distributing. You've got the 2 go-to hitters in the front. But there's also other capable kids up there. Their number may not get called as much, but as long as they're efficient, they can impact the match in a positive way for the Panthers.
Now, Shane, obviously Unioto, an 18-4 overall record, 11-3 in the SVC. They finish outright second place in their conference, the number 1 seed in the Division III tournament. They started the year 3-2. They finished 15-2 despite dropping their regular season finale in 5 to Westfall. They've been playing some of their best volleyball as of late.
Well, they have, and look, if you follow volleyball in the Southeast Ohio area over the last 20 years, the SVC has a way of kind of setting a standard. Even in a year like this where it didn't appear the SVC was going to be as strong, sure enough, we enter the postseason. And what have they done so far? They've been 6-1, and basically the sectional championship round, they've been 6-1 with Unioto playing for a 7th here tonight. And the only team that lost was a last place Paint Valley team that went 5 with a conference champion. So again, the SVC just year in, year out has a way of just preparing you for these moments. And even though Unioto, a little bit bigger school in their conference, in this case coming to Division III, don't be fooled by the Division 4, 5, 6 flavor there in the SVC. They're more than prepared off the conference schedule alone.
And Shane, we can talk a little bit about the libero matchup here tonight. Obviously for Miami Trace, Wearing the alternate white jersey, it's going to be the sophomore Keani Ackley for Unioto. Wearing the alternate purple uniform, it's going to be the senior Alyssa Stanley. She received the co-defensive player of the year in the South Valley Conference this season.
Yeah, I really like both players when I watch them in person and when I turn on the film. Ackley does a nice job, so solid, around 4 digs and 4.5 serve receives per set. Kind of a risk-reward serve, but can certainly impact the match with her serve as well. Stanley's been really good. We talk about milestones all the time. A lot of times, you wait your turn for a role, or sometimes because of your program or your coach might ask you to go from one role to another. This is a kid that's coming up on 800 assists, 800 digs in her career, and it just kind of shows you her versatility. It ended up doing some setting earlier in the career. Now has moved over to libero, and she's been pretty much their, or at least one of their top 2 servers, in my opinion. Does a nice job there, and I mean, you're coming close to 6 digs and about 7 serve receives. So that'll be interesting to me. Miami Trace serves tough with 3 or 4 spots. Let's see if they can pick on someone else and maybe not let Stanley impact the match so much.
I think one of the things, Shane, that really sticks out about this Unioto team is the number of underclassmen they have that play meaningful roles. Corey Grubb, along with Charlotte Dennis, Kinsley Batson, a sophomore as well. They have a lot of underclassmen that play very big roles that contribute a lot to the team and contributed a lot to that 18-4 record and the number 1 seed in the district tournament.
Well, that's a great observation. Again, they do have a core of seniors, but you're right. The sophomore class growing up has been very, very successful at every level. You and I have watched Puckett. Kylie Puckett really impacts the matches. Libby Anderson, we mentioned Kinsley Batson already. Abigail Watson, there's a name to really pay attention to with Lauren Ferens and Lauren Guess. If they're hitting out of that strong side, oftentimes Watson hitting on the opposite side for Unioto becomes a really important blocker down the line in some of those rotations. That'll be one to watch tonight. Watson
had a great start to that Adina match, if you remember back to that one we had here at Unioto. We'll take a break. It's going to be Shermans and Panthers, Division III District Quarterfinal when we return to Unioto High School. You're going to be watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget, as well as 60 months, 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news. Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
At North Fork Animal Clinic, we're more than your pet's health care. We're your neighbors. We combine top-quality veterinary care with the availability you can count on, keeping tails wagging and pets thriving. And as proud supporters of youth sports in Southern Ohio, we're committed to helping our whole community grow strong. North Fork Animal Clinic, caring for pets, supporting our community.
For 175 years, the Glockner name has stood for trust. Today, that promise continues. every time your family turns the key. Generations have trusted us for one reason. We never stopped caring. From preschool drop-offs to road trips, you leave our service center knowing your family is in the safest hands possible. 175 years of social proof that this isn't just service. It's a promise from our family to yours.
We welcome you back to Unioto High School at Shermans and Panthers in tonight's Division III District Quarterfinal. Shane Combs along with Dewey Daly bringing you tonight's coverage. Shane, it should be a good way to kick off our tournament coverage here in the 2025 season. What are going to be some keys tonight for the Panthers and Shermans to move on to that district semifinal round next week?
Well, I think you always have your obvious ones, like in the service game. Can you serve tough and efficiently? Can you serve, receive on target? But let's take a look at the defensive battle at the net. I think Unioto probably has a little bit more depth up and down the net in terms of putting up the big block. They've got to recognize where Ferens and Guess are going to be at on each rotation, particularly on that first ball over. If I pick out a weakness of Miami Trace sometimes that I think catches up with them, they don't always put up a real big block at the net. Their blocking numbers aren't real good. I don't even know that they get a lot of touches. Ackley does a really good job in the back row. I think that Ella Butts becomes really important along with Guess and Ferens. Even a Carter does a nice job of sometimes getting up there. But I'd like to see them get a little bit more presence in terms of defensively at the net, or the size of Detweiler and Dennis could be a real problem.
Big thank you to John Bruce for providing tonight's camera work. The Panthers come into tonight as the number 4 seed in Division III. They had a 4-set win over Athens this past Monday. Unioto has been off since their loss to Westfall. That one went 5. Both matches this season for Unioto against Westfall went 5 sets. They come into tonight as the number 1 seed in Division III. Lauren Guess serves it away, and we're rocking and rolling here in the district quarterfinal with Batson near side. She goes to Patterson for the first swing of the night. She gets the kill.
Yeah, with the Unioto attack, you'll notice a little bit more balance than you do on the Miami Trace side. You'll see Batson be able to spread the ball out to a variety of hitters.
Now Stanley serves it away for the Shermans. Yazel front setting far side. That's Lauren Ferens, the first swing for the Panthers tonight. Patterson near side, another opportunity, but this time it's long of that back line, and we're tied at 1.
Yeah, really pay attention to that strong side attack. Right now it'll be Ferens out of the front row. She'll be hitting on that far side of your camera angle.
24 aces on the season for Allison Carter. She serves it away for the Panthers far side. Kayla White on the attack. She's blocked by Ferens. Back over to the Shermans now. And a block for Butts inside for the Panthers. They lead 2-1 here in the first.
Well, right there is exactly what I'm talking about. You got to like that if you're a Miami Trace fan. I feel like some really good presence. I talked about the size of Ella Butts there in the middle, getting the block, getting the hands out over the net. Well done.
5'11" sophomore Ella Butts with a big-time defensive play here in the first. Here's White far side down the line. That one's wide to the right. That's a 2-point advantage for the Panthers.
Yeah, Carter comes in as one of their most efficient servers. This has been a pretty good rotation for the Panthers throughout the year.
Batson keeps it on the far side. White floats it over the tape. A nice play from Yazel to keep it off of the hardwood, and a free ball over from Carter. Inside, Detweiler for the kill.
Yeah, it ended up taking Unioto a while to get Detweiler the first swing here. They finally got in system off of a little bit of a free ball, and Zoe able to deliver the kill.
Team leading 238 kills coming into tonight at a little over 3%. Yazel backsetting Butts inside. That one's wide to the left, and we're tied at 3.
Yeah, that's a big factor when they're able to get her out of the middle, that she stays efficient, because you can see that Unioto is going to sell out that block to the outside off of the scouting report.
Ellie DePoy floats it over the tape for the Shermans. Yazel front setting to the far side. That was Ferens as the defensive player of the year in the SVC. Stanley, a nice play to keep it off of the floor. Inside, it's spiked down by Zoe Detweiler. And it's 4-3 Unioto.
Yeah, not a whole lot Yazel could do. The ball just on the overpass, the size of Detweiler there. Did a nice job of staying out of the net.
Yazel inside, goes right back to Ferens, far side. It's dug up by Stanley. Now Patterson swinging away for the Shermans into the back row. Here's Yazel front setting right back to Ferens, far side. Anderson keeps it alive. DePoy sends it over on the free ball. Yazel near side goes across the tape to Ferens. This time she gets it to go, and we're tied at 4.
Yeah, it's a big time set. A lot of kids can't push it all the way out there. Good strength, good base, good fundamentals. And Yazel was able to find Ferens after Unioto defense was up to the challenge twice. Ferens on the third time a charm.
Batson sets it up for Patterson near side. Dug up in the back row by Guess. Not a lot of room for the center, Kylie Yazel. She sends it into the net. 1 point lead now for Unioto. Kylie Puckett, the sophomore, will rotate in for the Shermans. 25 aces on the season for her. Now Yazel bump setting Robinette far side, unable to get it up over the tape. And a 2 point lead now for the Shermans.
Yeah, earlier in the year I thought Puckett battled some efficiency issues. It's been really on the uptick here throughout the year, and this is a rotation Unioto can really go in.
Here's Yazel back setting to the near side, right back to Ferens. It's dug up by Stanley. Now Batson coming near side for Grubbs, who's able to get the kill. One of those underclassmen we talked about in the pregame, Corey Grubbs. She's only played in 47 of 79 sets this season, but she's a little over a kill per set in those sets played. Yazel bumps it into the back row, an attack from Guess. As she sails it over the back line, it's 8-4 Unioto here in the first.
Yeah, again with the Puckett serve, they're getting them out of system a little bit, and you mentioned Grubbs coming into the front row there with Anderson passing for in the back row, delivering that kill on the previous volley.
Yazel bumps it right off of Robinette. It flies out of bounds. It's 9-4 Unioto. And a timeout for head coach Doug Mason, the Miami Trace Panthers, as they trail by 5.
Yeah, well, Kylie Puckett, the sophomore, comes in on a nice run here, hitting some different spots and her service game. And you gotta like what you're at if you're Unioto just in the start. You jump out, you feel like the kids have been pretty aware of where Ferens is out in the front row. She's had some good swings, but the block's been able to funnel the ball, and for the most part, Stanley and company's been up to the challenge. Alyssa Stanley off to a nice start with several digs, and as a result, Unioto just has a way of making that volley go a little bit longer, and they just kind of outlast you.
At the top of the broadcast, we mentioned these were two teams. It was kind of hard to find where the advantages may lie. What has been the advantage early on for Unioto?
I think it's the defense. I think it's the size at the net, and I think it's the back row play there of Stanley and company.
Panthers are with their first attack out of the timeout. They come to the near side, but they'll have a player over the midline. It looks like that may have been Ella Butts.
And I think if you answer that question from a Miami Trace perspective, they would tell you about half of these points have been, their errors. So there's another one where they need to just clean it up.
An ace for the sophomore, Kylie Puckett, number 26 on the season. Nearly had another, and she will. Back-to-back aces for Kylie Puckett. She has 27 on the year.
Yeah, Puckett's just kind of taken the first set over from the service line. It's got Miami Trace completely out of system.
Far side, it's Robinette. She bumps it to Lauren Ferens. Quickly back over to the Panthers with Robinette. Far side, she rolls it up over the tape and gets it to fall for the kill.
Really, Dewey, there's no better way than to take Ferens and Guess out of the match than to really serve it tough and not allow them to pass that ball on target to Yazel.
Don't believe we've seen an attacking opportunity so far for Guess as Detweiler far side. A nice play from Ackley. Free ball sent over by Guest. Back over to the Shermans now. Bats into Detweiler inside. It falls for the kill.
Yeah, you mentioned, I think Guess had an opportunity on the back row. She now is rotated to the front, so she'll start to be the strong side hitter as Farrens goes to the back row.
Yazel inside, goes far side. Lauren Guest down the line for the kill.
Yeah, 5'11". The block about a half second late, and she just went up over top of it. The block's got to sell out and get there much quicker.
Tight serve from Yazel. It's into the net. 8-point lead now for the Shermans here in the first.
And again, if you're Miami Trace, you do feel like you've ended up doing a lot of this to yourself, so you just got to be able to settle into the match a little bit. Starts with a good serve receive.
Yazel from the attack line goes to Guess, who pushes it over with two now. Dennis on the second touch, sticks it in for the kill.
Yeah, athletic play for Dennis.
A dominant first set so far for Unioto. It forces the second time out here in the opener for Coach Mason, the Panthers.
Yeah, if you're Miami Trace, the most disappointing thing here in the early going has to be your serve receive. Everything's based off of that, because if you don't at least get in the area for Yazel to go deliver the ball out, then Farrens and Guest can't really get involved with their swings. If you're Unioto, you love how difficult you've been able to serve it here in the early going. And then when you have had opportunities at the net, you already had kills from Grubbs, Patterson, Dennis, and 3 from Detweiler. So right there's that depth I'm talking about.
We mentioned the winner of this one will go on to the district semifinal next week. That's October 21st at Logan. Winner of Marietta and Sheridan. So for Miami Trace, if they were to advance, it'd be their second meeting with Marietta this season, although I believe it was a best of 3 that first time around. So back to play here. Yazel goes to Guess far side. It's dug up by Stanley off the rafters, and it falls onto the floor for the kill for Guess.
Much better job in serve receive, and as a result, Yazel and Guess in their normal rhythm, and she gets a big-time swing at it. Now let's see if Miami Trace can turn the table with some serving.
Pats it inside. Dennis down the middle, but it's wide to the right. So a nice little run out of the timeout for Miami Trace as they cut their deficit down to 7. Batson front setting to the near side, looking for White into the back row for the Unioto kill. It's 16-8. Sherman's doubling up the Panthers here in the opening set.
Yeah, great job by Batson and great job by Dennis to go. Again, what happens is when Unioto has so much of a variety at the net, the block just kind of gets caught in the middle. That time White was able to get somewhat of a free net, and she delivered.
Yazel goes backside. Lauren Guess is blocked up top. It caught the antenna off of the Unioto block, so the point will go with Miami Trace. Is that considered tooling the block?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I thought, based on scouting report, I thought the block was about a half count late. You know where they're going. You got to get there.
And a deep serve for Guess. It's wide to the back line. 17-9. Stanley serves it away for Unioto. Yazel inside, goes to Farron's far side. She's blocked. That was Kayla White defensively for the Shermans.
Yeah, big time effort from the senior White in the solo act. Got out there and was able to get the two hands out over the net. That's a big play from White.
Yazel goes to Farron's far side. A nice play from Anderson to keep it alive. Now Patterson on the attack, butts her second block of the night.
Can't tell you how important that is, Dewey. Again, that's something that I felt like Miami Trace had to really come in and do a little bit better job than they've done here in recent times I've seen them on film. Good presence at the net defensively.
Batson keeps it inside. Detweiler's able to sneak it in for the kill.
Yeah, I love the quick action. Yeah, how do you counter that when they have the big block there? You get a good pass on target, and then Batson and Detweiler on the same page. You notice how they went a little quicker, a little lower, and they sneak it down inside the block.
Now Ellie DuPois serves it away for Unioto. Yazel goes to the outside for Ferens. It's dug up by DuPois. Now Batson to Patterson near side. It bounces off of the tape. The attack for the Shermans goes into the net. Do you think there was a touch there for Miami Trace?
I think I agree with Kylie Yazel there. I don't think there was, but obviously they played on and got the point anyway.
Now Keani Ackley serves it away for the Panthers. Batson to Patterson near side from the attack line and just inside of the back line for the kill.
Yeah, Patterson, another senior, coming out on the strong side. Had a kill the first time around the front row. Now returns to the front row and gets another one. And the Unioto stat sheet, nice and balanced, just the way Batson and the Unioto Shermans like it.
Yazel keeps it near side. Ferens able to tool the block for the kill. That craftiness and body control, able to flip it to the outside, able to tool that block.
Yeah, so good. Good volleyball IQ, good feel for the game. Yeah, coming up on about 750 career kills. Obviously, throughout her career, she's played with some incredible talent.
And a service error for the Panthers. And with a final coming in from Logan Elm, the Braves beating the Indians in straight sets. Miami Trace now the last team out of the FAC alive in the postseason. Just them and Hillsborough coming into tonight. Yazel diving, keeps it off the floor on a free ball over by Carter. Yazel with an outstanding play, and Dennis answers with a kill inside for the Shermans.
Yeah, good quick action once again in the middle. And you mentioned Logan Elm. You and I will be over at Logan for the D4 tournament, so Logan Elm's the first team to punch a ticket there.
Inside, Yazel over the back. And over the head, over the tape. What a play on that second touch from the junior setter.
Yeah, this first set might be a little too late, but if you're Miami Trace, you'd still like to get a little something going to see if you can't find a little momentum to take into this second set.
No-look kill for Yazel as she serves it away for the Panthers. Second ball taken by Batson. And Stanley's unable to get it over on that third touch.
Yeah, Yazel had the serving error earlier, so any momentum she can get here at the serve will help throughout the match.
And an ace for Kylie Yazel. Number 50, she leads the team in serving this season.
Yeah, does a really nice job. Again, has fought a little bit of efficiency issues in the high 80s, but when she gets it going, and there's an example of the air, but when she gets it going, she can really dial up some aces.
So the service there for Yazel makes it 23-15 here in the first with Unioto leading. As Batson serves it away. Yazel inside. Here's Guess out of the middle. A nice swing. It's dug up by Batson. Now Grubbs back over to the Panthers near side. A roll shot from Guess that falls in for the kill.
Good adjustment from Guess. Her fourth kill of the opening set. You know, Miami Trace, they have 4 kids that serve at under 90%, so they do fight some efficiency issues, but at the same time, they've had over 200 aces on the year coming in as a team.
Batson bumps it to White near side. A block from Butts, but nobody's home for that second touch. Set point here in the first coming up for Unioto.
Yeah, and the depth of Unioto is causing the Miami Trace defense a little bit of issue because they're just having trouble. It's a guessing game, and Unioto's been able to get some open nets.
24-16, Libby Anderson to serve for the Shermans. Yazel goes backside. Here's Guess streaking in. Pass to the near side from Patterson. Now back over by Batson, but it falls in for the kill. 25-16, the final in the first. We'll take a break. Set 2 when we return to Unioto High School. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Experience the hometown Chevrolet difference. Check out our huge selection of Silverado trucks, Equinox SUVs, and the latest Chevy models. Priced to move and ready to hit the road today. Plus, with the Hometown Advantage, you get free oil changes for life and a 10-year, 150,000-mile limited powertrain warranty at no extra cost. That's real value and real peace of mind. Your Hometown Chevrolet is proud to be your trusted local dealer of new and pre-owned inventory, delivering unbeatable deals and top-notch service. Visit us today at 501 West Emmett Avenue in Waverly or start shopping online at yourhometownchevy.com.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
Look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
We welcome you back to Unioto High School, a 25-16 opening set win for the Shermans in tonight's Division III District Quarterfinal. Shermans out of the gate hot.
Yeah, on the Unioto side, you like your balance. You have 4 kills for Detweiler, 2 for Dennis, the 1 for Batson, and then the 2 for White, 2 from Patterson, 1 from Grubb. So you're getting it from all over the place, up and down the net. If you're Miami Trace, I think what you're trying to do in the huddle right now is just calm yourself down and settle into the match, because you feel like you probably on 12, 13 of those points just completely had some unforced errors. You know, be it serving mistakes, serve receive. They just got to try to get in system. You know, Farrens was held to 2 kills there. Guest did have 4, but Unioto was able to go out. It was Kylie Puckett on my notes here, had the good service run early, and that ended up really being the difference in the set, because once Unioto jumped out 9-4, 10-4, that was really too big of a gap for Miami Trace to make up.
So the second set tonight should, I believe, begin with Unioto. So we had Lauren Guest to open things up serving-wise tonight. 25-16, Unioto took the first. We mentioned the winner tonight. We'll move on to the district semifinal next Tuesday down at Logan, a 7 p.m. first serve with the winner of Marietta and Sheridan.
Yeah, Stanley will get us started. Stanley in the libero spot passes there for the combination of Dennis and Detweiler, as we talked about. Detweiler will serve for herself. Stanley serves in that Dennis spot.
So Stanley serves it away. The second set tonight is underway with Farrens near side with the first kill of the second set. We mentioned Farrens, what a night she had this past Monday. 26 kills in the 4-set win over Athens to advance to tonight's district quarterfinal. Here's Batson inside. She goes to Detweiler, who sends it into the net. 2-0 start for the Panthers.
Yeah, nice start if you're Miami Trace. You get the kill, then Farrens goes on back. Looks like they flipped the matchups here a little bit. You'll have Guest coming across the front row now for Miami Trace.
Stanley takes the second ball near side. It's Patterson, but she sails it over the back line. It's 3-0 Miami Trace.
Yeah, and this has been a issue for Unioto throughout the year. You know, just the consistency in terms of intensity from set to set.
That one caught the top of the rafters. Now near side, it's Patterson into the back row. Ackley the ding. And a violation against Miami Trace.
Good dig from Ackley. Couldn't tell if they had a number into the net there. I didn't see the signal from clear across court there.
I believe it may have been Yazel. Or sort of blocked from that down official. It's hard to get an exact number. Yazel front setting far side for Guess. Nearly had the kill. A nice job from Anderson and Batson to keep it alive. A free ball over to the Panthers. Right back to Guess. Stanley the dig. Here's Patterson on the outside for the kill.
There's the depth piece again. Detweiler gets stuck at the net, doesn't get off ready to hit, but you still have a legitimate option to the outside with Patterson.
Now DuPois serves it away for the Shermans and past that back line. Back to a 2-point lead for Miami Trace.
Yeah, you don't see that very often from the senior. Comes in serving about 96%, 44 aces, 14 errors. So that's not characteristic of her.
Here's Batson tight to the net, goes to Detweiler inside for the kill.
Really like the chemistry between Detweiler and Batson. Detweiler creates some really clever angles there in the middle, and it makes it so hard on the block, plus her size and athleticism and her powerful swing.
Couple of aces for Kylie Puckett in the opening set. She serves it away for Unioto and an attacking error for Robinette. As we're tied at 4, it was a 3-0 start to the set for Miami Trace. It's 4-1 Unioto since then. Yazel goes to the far side. Guess down the line for the kill.
Yeah, that's a big-time setter play there. Tight pass to the net. You've got the size of Detweiler right up over top of your head, and Yazel goes up and gets it and delivers a perfect ball to the outside to Guess. Well done.
Deep serve from Robinette. Stanley bumps it near side. Grubbs into the back row for the kill.
Now Dennis will return as Detweiler gets back. So now Dennis will go across the front row with Grubbs, and you'll have Batson live in the front row there.
Yazel goes backside, goes to Guess. Overpass from Detweiler, back over to the Panthers now. Carter goes into the back row for Ferens. Unioto now with Dennis inside for the kill.
Good job of Dennis getting off the net and getting ready to hit. I feel like that's where she's really improved here in her sophomore campaign.
6-5 Unioto. Here in the second set, Guess to Yazel over on the free ball, and it falls just in front of that back line, and we're tied at 6.
Yeah, for Miami Trace will certainly take it here, and off to a much better start in the second set. Ferens will return to the front row, and Guess will do the serving.
Near side, second ball from Dennis into the back row. A free ball over by Stanley. Yazel inside, goes to Ella Butts. A bit of a miss hit. She was blocked by Grubbs, and a free ball sent over by the Panthers. Now Batson on the second touch, sticks it in.
Yeah, as I said a second ago, Batson live in the front row. You've got to be aware of that, especially on balls tight to the net. And Kinsley Batson goes up and delivers a kill. And now she'll go to the back row as the server.
Yazel into the back row, bumps it Ferens far side, a block from Dennis. Back over to the Panthers. Yazel is able to get it over on the free ball. Now Batson to Dennis in the middle, is blocked up top. That was Carter along with Butts on the defensive play for the Panthers.
Yeah, Allison Carter did a nice job there. Ella Butts has been really good defensively. She had 2 blocks there in the first set, and then Carter. So again, much better presence at the net than I'd seen on film here in the couple matches I'd watched Miami Trace.
Batson goes backside, looking for Grubbs, who bounces it off of the tape.
That first ball over, trying to have Grubbs hit out of the opposite side. Probably more comfortable on the strong side. I feel like that's a fair assessment nonetheless. Very capable.
Batson bumps it. Near side, a roll shot from White. Off the rafters, kept alive by Ferens, and a free ball over by Carter. Here's Batson. Near side, right back to White. This time she's able to get the kill.
Such a good job by Dennis. Did you see how hard she went in the middle there? And she ended up freezing the block, and then White comes in great rhythm. And once she has the open net, just a much easier shot. Give Dennis a lot of credit for unselfish effort there.
Yazel goes to the outside. Ferens, what a swing from the senior. She's able to get the kill.
Yeah, that's easy money there. If you're not going to get the block out there and give her something to look at, she's gonna hammer away.
Coming off of one of the best matches of her season. 9-8 Miami Trace make it 9-9. We're tied in the second. Off of the service there from Ackley.
That's what I've talked about a little bit with Miami Trace. They'll get a little loose in the service game sometimes, and it can just catch up with them, especially in these tight sets.
Low serve from Stanley. It falls in for the ace. Number 49 on the season for the senior. She leads the team in serving.
Yeah, and does so at about 92%, so the efficiency's there as well.
And make it back-to-back aces for Alyssa Stanley. 2-point advantage now for Unioto.
If you look at the spot where it got away from Miami Trace in the first set, certainly had a lot to do with their serve receive. It was Kylie Puckett, the sophomore server and back row player for Unioto in the first set. Now this time Stanley off to a good start.
Yazel far side. Oh, she'll keep it there for Robinette. And Robinette is able to get the kill. Couple of kills in the win over Athens for Robinette. I believe that's her first here tonight. She brings Miami Trace back to within one. Batson goes backside. White streaking in, gets the kill.
Yeah, good back set. They had started to sell out in the middle to the strong side a little bit more. She used the back set, and White off to a nice start. Has, on my sheet unofficially, 4 kills and a block already here in just about a set and a half.
Yazel sets it up in the middle for Lauren Guess. She gets the kill.
Wow, that's really athletic, big time swing, and I like how they're moving her around the net there a little bit, not allowing the block to sell out on her as much.
Every now and again, Ferentz and Guess remind you why they're one of the best duos in Southeast Ohio.
Absolutely.
White will send it up in the middle for Detweiler. Now Carter goes backside for Guess. She pushes it over on the free ball. Batson coming near side for Patterson. Patterson gives Unioto a 2-point advantage.
And again, what you're looking at is how good a job the Unioto middle does of going and really making the block freeze.
13-11 Unioto here in set 2. Yazel goes right back to Guess. Down the line, but it's wide to the left.
Yeah, right idea. Probably tried to get a little too fine with it. A lot of times she'll have her teammate behind her calling out where to go with it.
Yazel goes right back to Guess. This time she gets the kill.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, being too fine with the one before. Trying to hit maybe the perfect shot, Dewey, right on the line or right down the line. When you get that good a set and you're up that high, just go ahead and hammer away.
Batson keeps it on the far side as Zoe Detweiler answers with a thunderous swing of her own.
Thunderous is a good way to call that one. That's a big time swing there, her 6th kill of the evening. And she'll head back to serve.
15-12 Unioto. Yazel bumps it back to the near side, looking for Guess over the head of Batson. It falls in for the kill.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Guess is really starting to put her fingerprints on the match. She has 5 kills here in this set. Now Ferentz will come back to the front row. Let's see if they can get her going as well.
Batson goes backside a bit out of rhythm. Roll shot over by Grubbs. Now Ferentz far side for the kill. Panthers back within 1.
But Dewey, you called it perfect. Unioto out of rhythm. Again, you've got to trust your setter, and you've got to go get ready to hit, and you've got to go on the line. So And as a result, you're right, they didn't really get on a good attack, and that allowed Miami Trace to come back to Ferens.
Batson comes to Dennis, near side. Carter, the block for the Panthers. Back over to Unioto's side, right back to Dennis. As she's able to get the kill.
Good defense from Miami Trace, but then good coverage from Unioto, and they're able to come right back on the attack. And Dennis with a big-time swing.
Batson nearly had the ace. Yazel goes to Ferens' far side. Nice play from Stanley. She hits the deck to keep it alive. A free ball bounced over by Grubbs. Yazel to Ferens again on the outside. Puck at the dig. Batson a one-handed set to White that won't make it over the tape.
Good opportunity for Miami Trace here.
It'll be Allison Carter at the line. Batson goes to Dennis out of the middle. She floats it up over the tape. Now Ferens' far side. She bounces it off of the antenna. As Unioto retakes a 2-point lead.
Yeah, I thought they had an opportunity there. Good hustle from Unioto. I don't know if that had anything or any effect on Ferens, but again, I thought she had a line opportunity there to swing away.
Tight serve from Anderson. It's off of the tape.
Dewey, another Unioto server not characteristic, comes in serving 97%. So we've seen a couple misses here from some high efficiency servers.
Anderson out of the back row. This one up in the rafters as Stanley tracks it and sends it over on the free ball. He gains with a Ferens far side for the kill. We're tied at 17.
Yeah, these are the types of teams at this level. If you're going to send the free ball over, there's a good chance there's going to be a big-time attack coming back at you, and that's certainly what that was from Ferens.
Tight serve from Ackley. Unioto back up by one.
Both teams hurting themselves with the service game a little bit. Let's see who can clean it up. This set's really up for grabs as we come down the stretch.
Yazel near side. She'll keep it there. Streaking in, it's Lauren Ferens who sails it over the back line.
Great opportunity for Unioto, now up 2 with Stanley serving. Miami Trace desperate need of some urgency here. Can't afford to go down 2-0 on the road.
Yazel goes backside. Ferens with the right hand. It's dug up by Detweiler. Batson comes to Patterson near side. A nice play from Ackley to keep it alive. Roll shot on that far side for Lauren Ferens. Another kill for the senior.
You know, that's what I love about Ferens and Jess as I watch them on film is, you know, they're going to hammer the perfect set, but they can also make something out of some of the lesser ones and still give you a great swing. That's just a really athletic, very skilled delivery there.
So following the kill, Ferens will serve it away for the Panthers. Far side, it's White back to the middle and a free ball over by Detweiler. Yazel inside, goes to Butts. Far side for the kill as the Panthers once again tied up, this time at 19.
Well, again, free ball, quick action. Guess on the outside, open net.
It's been the tail of the back half of the set. Batson coming to the near side. Patterson is blocked. That time it was Robinette. As White sends it back over to the Panthers on the free ball. Guess far side. She gets the kill. It's 20-19. Miami Trace takes the lead here in the second set. And a timeout for Unioto. Shane, I believe the last time the Panthers led in this set, it was 4-3.
Yeah, well, and really good character check there, right? When I was saying, 19-17, you had Stanley back to serve. And I was talking about how it was really an urgent time for Miami Trace. Couldn't afford to go down 2-0, and then they've really started to deliver. The defense has been present at the net. I thought that was a key coming in. I think Miami Trace gets a good check on that one. They've been pretty good there. I think right now they've got to be able to clean up the service game and the serve receive because they have some advantages on the outside there with Ferens and Guess when they can get that ball passed on target and go quick.
Some keys for either team maybe. Miami Trace to close this one out, or Unioto to climb back in it?
It's very strategic here in the serve, in my opinion. They'll usually call the number from the bench. You want to pick out a good spot you think you can go. Unioto right now is going to have, let's see, looks like Patterson on the outside, Detweiler in the middle, and White will hit on the opposite side here on this first ball over. Let's see where Batson goes with it.
Overpass from Anderson. It's a free ball right back over by Guess. Now Detweiler looking to go into that back left corner. She does and ties it at 20.
Just a missed opportunity for Miami Trace. The ball comes back over and you can't take advantage of it. And then Detweiler with a nice little clever two-hand push into the back corner, her 7th kill of the evening.
You saw it right away on the face of Guess. Now the Panthers will look to answer. Far side it is Guess. Overpass from Anderson, but it falls where nobody was. It's 21-20 Unioto.
Well, and again, that's why you just, any defense, any resistance, you just never know. Keep that ball off the floor, and sometimes the volleyball will work in your favor.
We've certainly had our fair share of just keep it off the floor and get it over the net moments. We had a big one here with Unioto and Adina that second time around.
You really do. And again, it sounds cliche, but you always say play to the whistle in all sports, right? You figure out a way to get a touch, a dive here, pop a ball up, and you just never do know. And that's why I think the really, really good volleyball teams that defend well, they take that pride in playing hard. And even when it doesn't result in you getting the ball back over the net, there's something about just trying to keep that ball off the floor. You get kids in that mindset, and it can really help you defensively.
We talked about it earlier in the season. You just start treating it like you're in your living room with your friend or your brother, and you're just trying to keep the balloon off the living room floor.
Yes. Yeah, any of those competitive views just start going, it just becomes a pride thing. And it's been my experience with kids, when you can get that buy-in, it just becomes that little extra in terms of the it factor when it comes to being a great defensive team.
Unioto took the opening set, 25-16. They lead here in set 2, 21-20. Far side, it's Guess who ties it at 21.
Well, not a bad strategy out of the timeout. Go out to the girl who now has 8 kills in the second set, 12 on the night. The juniors really got it going. Up over 600 kills on in her career now.
It'll be the junior setter, Kylie Yazel, to serve it away. Tight to the net, Batson goes to Detweiler inside. She sends it off the net. The Panthers retake the lead, 22-21.
Again, let's see with Yazel serving here. She's had some high ace total on the year. Let's see if she can keep the efficiency late in the set.
Batson inside, goes to Detweiler. We're tied at 22.
And Dewey, that's the chess game there, because you take a little off and you allow for their easier serve receive, and then all of a sudden you got Detweiler coming in rhythm with good pace. So again, you got to really pick and choose that risk reward serve.
Yazel inside, goes right back to Guess, a soft touch, and she snuck it in for the kill.
Yeah, got the freshman grubs just a little bit there on some of the coverage tip there. Just got to recognize your responsibility.
9 kills in the set for Lauren Guess. Now DePoy bumps it to Grubbs, a roll shot near side, back over the Panthers. Yazel right back to Guess. This time it's dug up by DePoy. Batson comes to Grubbs near side, who sails it over the back line. Set point here in the second coming up for the Panthers. And a timeout for Unioto.
Yeah, it was good hustle from DePoy. They just couldn't quite get in rhythm there. Now Miami Trace, again, you want to come out of the timeout and you want to finish this thing. You don't want this thing to linger. We've noticed some scores here lately in the early tournament matches where teams haven't been able to finish. They'll get to that set point, even match point in a couple spots. How about that crazy Huntington Fairland score the other night? I think went 5, and every one of those was up around 27, 25. I think there was a 30, 28 maybe in there somewhere. It's just crazy.
We talk a lot about the good players we see every season, Shane, but we ask ourselves, who are those great players that rise to the occasion when there's number when their numbers are called. Lauren Guess has certainly answered the call here in the second set.
Absolutely.
So Robinette serves it away. Set point for the Panthers. Batson keeps it inside. Detweiler is blocked up top by Guess. Anderson, the second touch, and the free ball won't make it over from DuPois as the Panthers take set 2, 25-22.
Well, I said to someone today, I didn't know who would win, but I'd be absolutely shocked if you and I weren't here for 4 or 5 sets. So back and forth we go. This one's going to be fun. Make sure you stay with us.
25-22, we're tied 1 set apiece through the first couple of sets in tonight's Division III District Quarterfinal. We'll take a break. Set 3 when we return to Unioto High School. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
We welcome you back to Unioto High Schools. The Panthers and Shermans tied 1 set apiece as we head into set 3 as it was dominant. Set 1 win for Unioto Miami Trace, and a back and forth set 2. They answer the call and tie the match at 1.
Well, they did, and they got back to who they are. You know, we talked about their 1-2 punch of Ferens and Guess, and their Guess with 9 kills in the second set, 5 from Ferens. So that tells you that Yazel's getting that ball outside to him. I thought the defense at the net was pretty good. Ella Butts, we've said the name Allison Carter sometimes. Robinette was involved a little bit there, and then of course Ackley with the serve, receives, and the passes. So I thought they got back to a little bit of their identity there, Dewey, and as a result they were able to tie this thing up 1 apiece.
So if you're just now tuning in, it was 25-16 Unioto in the first, 25-22 Miami Trace in the second.
Let's see if he starts Guess in the front there. I think he's going to there, and which would mean Ferens would serve. Yes. So they're going to go with this matchup here with Guess in the front row. Unioto will have White, Patterson, White, and Dennis look like to be in the front row for Unioto here.
Set 3 underway, and it's a service error for Miami Trace. The Shermans crack the board first here in the third set. Stanley to serve for Unioto. Far side, it's a free ball sent over. But Shane, as you like to say, you can do whatever you want if it stays on your side, but as soon as it crosses over that net, that's usually when the violations roll in.
Well, I say it for the older folk. I know a lot of the older players, they feel like a lot of the skills just been eliminated from the rule book, so there's a good double hit for the older folk listening in this evening.
And a service there on both sides now here in the second set. That one, in the third set, that one goes with Alyssa Stanley.
A little bit of lack of focus here from both teams coming out third set. You got to get locked in here. This is always huge when it's tied 1-1.
Make that 3 service errors between both teams. That's 3 of the first 4 points here in the third set.
I know DuPois missed one earlier, but I highlighted how this has been a really good rotation for Unioto throughout the year.
Yazel goes to Butt's far side. She had an electric second set. What a play from Stanley to keep it alive, but nobody was home for that third touch. Miami Trace back to within 1.
Yeah, that's a good point for Miami Trace, because like I said, that DePoy rotation, Unioto scored over 200 points in that rotation this year.
Far side, Batson comes back to the middle for Detweiler. It's dug up by Yazel. Now Yazel will swing away out of the back row, and it's going to fall in. So Yazel showing off the versatility to tie it at 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, a 5-1 setter doesn't get a whole lot of those opportunities. She's like, let me swing a little, coach.
Looked pretty good doing it as well.
No question, yeah.
So Robinette serves it away for the Panthers. We're tied at 3 here in the third set, and that one will fall in. Nobody was home for that second touch.
The more I turn on the film, the more I like the sophomore Robinette. Just does a lot of the little things that she's not going to get as many of the quantity in terms of opportunities, but makes good on her chances she does get.
Batson comes to the near side looking for Patterson. Now Yazel to guess far side with the left hand. DePoy keeps it off of the ground. Back to the middle, a roll shot from Stanley. Yazel right back to guess far side. Bump to the near side. It'll be a roll shot from Patterson. Now Carter to guess, a roll shot back over to Unioto. Batson tries to sneak it in near side. It's Carter. Back over to the Shermans. Now Patterson, another opportunity. Now the Panthers on the attack with guess far side. This time it'll fall in for the junior. And it's a 2-point lead for Miami Trace.
Yeah, one of our best volleys of the night, and Miami Trace comes away with a point, and the momentum off of that second set kind of starting to favor Miami Trace a little bit. I think it's a danger time for Unioto, and that helps.
(5-4) Miami Trace. Kylie Puckett will go to the line for the Shermans. They've caught some fire behind the sophomore serve here through the first couple of sets tonight. This one will be an overpass for the Panthers. Batson on the second touch, off of the block. She sneaks it in for the kill. We're tied at 5.
Yeah, and got to recognize when she's live in the front row. She goes up there with nobody there. She's able to really pick out her spot.
Yazel goes backside looking for Guess, who sends it into the net.
For people that don't understand what I'm saying by live, when she's in the front row, she can attack above the net. If she's setting out of that back row, she's not allowed to do that.
Yazel sets it up out of the back row. It's Ferens, a block from Detweiler. Back over to the Panthers. Ackley, the free ball over to Unioto. Now Batson comes to Puckett near side, who sends it into the net. So a very similar start here in the third, pretty much to what we saw the entire set number 2. Batson goes backside looking for Detweiler. She rolls it into the back row, dug up by Ackley. Now Ferens far side, another block for Detweiler. Right back to Ferens, far side, into the net.
Back and forth we go a little bit, and it's just be interesting to see which team can find its rhythm. This third set here hasn't had a whole lot of offensive system to it. Just been some mistakes being made back and forth.
Yazel goes to Ferens, far side, dug up, but out of bounds from Detweiler. We're tied at 7. A nice swing for Miami Trace.
Good swing, trying to go down the line there. And Batson's in the front row, only 5'6". That's a little bit of a size advantage if they can go down the line.
And Allison Carter gets the ace. Is that her third tonight, Shane?
Well, there was one I had a question on, and again, what impressed me so much with her is she serves it at 95% on the year. That thing's got some good action on it for that high efficiency. There you see that risk reward. On my stat sheet, that's only her 13th error of the year.
So it'll be Batson to serve for Unioto. Tied to the net, Yazel goes to the outside for Ferens. That one right off the top of the roof, and it falls. The kill for Ferens.
Yeah, again, they found something on the outside they like there. And again, you don't have to be so fine with it. Just go up there when you have that size advantage and hammer away.
Ackley at the line for the Panthers. Here's Batson, bump setting it to the near side. A roll shot from White. Now Yazel right back to Ferens. A soft touch. She was blocked by Grubbs, but it fell out of bounds off for the Unioto touch.
And Dewey, I just feel like the Unioto block's way too late. Again, there's not a whole lot of secret where they're going. And they've really kind of failed to get out there the last 2 or 3 times.
And an ace for Kiani Ackley, number 26 on the season for the sophomore libero.
Yeah, she struggled early on to serve. That might be a little jump start to get her going here, because she's 1-2 that can rattle them off in a hurry.
And Ackley follows it up with a service error.
Yeah, and that's that back and forth. You just got to stay with it and trust the work that you put in, especially here this late in the year with, when you're in tournament play, just trust the work that you put in and turn it loose.
11-9, Miami Trains here in the third. It'll be Anderson at the line for Unioto. And Anderson will more or less get the ace. Strong serve for the sophomore results in the point. Unioto back to within 1.
And again, you just feel like if you could get one server a little bit hot at the line or get on a little bit of run, that this is really up for grabs here. This has been kind of a back and forth. No one wants to really take control of it.
Ferens back to the middle. It's Carter on the free ball for Miami Trace. Here's Batson to Dennis inside. Into the back row for the kill.
Dennis with her 5th kill of the evening.
Yazel racing to the back row. She'll bump it to Robinette on the outside. It's a free ball inside. It'll be Patterson actually on the outside. Now Yazel to Ferens on the outside. A nice dig from Stanley to keep it alive. Batson right back to Patterson near side. Nearly had the kill. Ferens was there for the dig. Now Ferens a soft touch. As Batson digs it up, Stanley goes right back to Patterson near side. Ackley in the back row. Ferens on the outside. A nice job to just keep it inside of that antenna. But no, the down official will say it was outside. That'll give Unioto a 1-point advantage.
Yeah, really couldn't tell from where he was sitting. Seemed to be right on it, and Ferens did all she could, evidently just a little bit on the wrong side of it.
So 12-11, Unioto back out in front here in the third. Yazel goes backside looking for Ferens into the back left corner for the kill. We're tied at 12.
Outstanding. How good was that? Just kind of understood exactly where she wanted to go with it and showing off her entire arsenal there to tie it at 12.
Batson goes to Dennis out of the middle. It's dug up by Ferens. Now it'll be Guess on the attack. A soft touch. She got it to go for the kill.
Well, it's got to be frustrating to the block and to the back row players, because you've got a couple people that are in charge of that tip, and you just got to be aware of it. You got to stay low and play hard.
Near side off the bump set. Patterson answers with a soft touch kill of her own.
Nice shot from the senior. Again, it feels like we've been tied at almost every number, and nobody can pull away.
Yazel goes to the far side, streaking in. It's Guess. Now Batson goes to White. Far side. She tools the block for the kill.
Great example of how the defense of the net can just slow the hitter down. Again, you're not going to shut out a Guess or a Ferens, but the Unioto block gets enough of a touch to slow it down, and then you're able to come back on the attack, and White delivers with the kill from the opposite side.
Now Carter from beyond the back line. It's a free ball over by Yazel. Opportunity now for the Shermans. It'll be White far side, and it'll fall in for the kill. Another excellent swing from the senior Kayla White.
Yeah, what a great lift here for Unioto to get some opposite side attack there, back to back from Kayla White.
15-13 Unioto, leading Miami Trace here in the third. Yazel goes to guess far side. A nice cut shot from the junior. She gets the kill.
Yeah, big time swing there. Good adjustment. Now with Yazel going to the back row, Miami Trace have the 3 options at the net.
Batson bumps it up. White down the line, back over to the Panthers. Yazel goes to guess far side. She'll float it over to Unioto. Stanley sets it up for White far side. She gets the kill.
Yeah, 3 kills here in the set now. 7 on the evening. Comes in averaging about 1.5 per set.
Second ball taken by Guess. It'll be Yazel who sends it over, and nobody was home for that second touch as it fell in beyond the back line. Miami Trace back within 1.
Yeah, and again, that's just got to drive you insane. If you're the Unioto coaching staff, you finally get a free ball where Guess had to take the second ball and couldn't swing at you, and they end up getting a point out of it anyway.
And a service there for Robinette. So we were tied for a large majority of the third. Now it's been that 1 to 2 point margin for Unioto after the last couple of points.
Remember, it was this Puckett rotation back in the first set where Unioto had a big run.
Yazel goes backside. As Guess pushes it over with 2. Grumps near side, a block from Carter along with Butts again. Both Carter and Ella Butts have been outstanding defensively tonight for the Panthers.
Yeah, the Unioto offense kind of got a little bit crowded there on the strong side. It made it pretty easy for the block to read.
And an ace for Lauren Guess. Final tied at 17.
49 now on the year, I think the stat sheet reads.
I believe that might be 50. Did she have one earlier on in the night as well?
Very possible.
What a swing, far side. Zoe Datweiler pushes Unioto back out to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, only her first kill here in the third set after she had 8 coming in, so now 9 total on the evening. She'll go back to serve, and Dennis will return to the front row.
Ackley racing into the back row. She kept it alive, and the free ball will make it over from Ferens. Now Batson gets it over on the second touch. Near side, Carter gets the kill for the Panthers. We're tied at 18.
Well, and again, when they do go, they're going to get an open net because the block's going to sell out pretty much to the strong side hitter. So Carter takes advantage of the open net to tie us up.
Put a star next to Keani Ackley's name on that play for Miami Trace. Overpass from Anderson. Now Ferens inside. Back over to the Sherman. Stanley bumps it to Anderson. It's a free ball over by Unioto. Yazel to Ferens far side. Puckett to dig in the back row. Now Anderson on the attack for Unioto, but it's wide left.
Yeah, Anderson playing the front row for the first time this evening. She has played some front row throughout the year, but again, we talked about how Unioto will really mix the rotation up through 4 and 5 set matches.
Batson sneaks it over on the second touch. It won't fall in, and the free ball gets over by Ferens. Now Dennis inside, bounces it off of the block. Now Ferens will push it over with 2. A dig from Puckett. It'll be Dennis inside with the right hand. She changed up the tempo and got the kill.
Yeah, great volley back and forth. Miami Trace did a good job keep the ball off the floor, and then Unioto comes back, and Dennis just so athletic, 6'1". When she's able to contact that ball up high there, the block really has no chance to impact it.
Ferens will send it over off the top of the tape. The free ball just did get over. It's Anderson into the back row. It's dug up by Ackley. Now Yazel to Ferens, far side for the kill.
Really good ball from Yazel there to go get it and to get it out there to where Ferens could do something with it. And Miami Trace, great opportunity here now, up one with the serve.
20-19 Panthers. Ackley serves it away and past that back line. We're tied at 20. And Shane, really after the dominant opening set win for Unioto over the last two sets, this match has been much more on par to what we expected coming in.
It really has. It's really been a slugfest back and forth, and this third set certainly anybody's ball game.
Robinette bumps it to the middle. Ackley on the free ball back over to the Shermans. It's Batson backside looking for White. Too strong on the swing for the senior. She sends it over the back line. It's a 1-point advantage for the Panthers.
Yeah, just about a half count off the rhythm, and she still tried to swing it pretty hard and couldn't get on top of it.
21-20 Miami Trace. Batson floats it up over Yazel. Quickly back over to Unioto. Now Batson to White, far side, reaching over the back. She was blocked up top. That was Lauren Guest defensively for the Panthers. Timeout Unioto as they trail by 2.
Yeah, Lauren Guest, yeah, the blocking numbers are actually down, and I'm going to assume that's because she hits outside so much. Therefore, she's blocking the weak side. So early in her career, the block numbers are a little bit higher. Probably doesn't get as many opportunities. Again, that's just my guess. But there she was up to the challenge because, again, that's so important because Unioto is going to use so much of the net. You know, Dewey, I might have got myself in trouble earlier. My wife is asking if I was referring to her as old folk there on the double.
You got to be careful with that, Jim.
Yeah. I don't recall that. I mean, we might want to get that edited out there a little bit. No,
referring to some of the veteran players. Change up the terminology a little bit.
And it really is funny because you look at all of the different things. Volleyball has tried so hard to make the game what they refer to as faster and quicker and not having some, but it really does take away some of those skill set things, like especially when you talk about those double hits.
So as we return to play, it's 22-20. Patterson just over the tape. Now far side, gets into the back row, and Unioto now back to within 1.
Good response out of the timeout for Unioto. Now they'll get one of their top servers back on the line. They'll get Detweiler back to the front row. Let's see if they can tie this thing up.
Yazel goes far side looking for guess who gets the kill.
That type of set right there is one of the things that puts Yazel ahead of a lot of people on my list. That ability to take that ball and push it all the way outside, even when it's cross court like that.
And an ace. Set point coming up for Miami Trace, Kylie Yazel. And it's 24-21, timeout Unioto. The Panthers are now starting to run away with it a little bit, similar to what we saw in that second set.
Yeah, they really are, and give them a lot of credit to the way they responded to being down 1-0. Because again, I thought in the first set they just seemed a little bit out of rhythm, a little lackluster. Didn't seem really locked in mentally in some areas. Right off the bat, the Kylie Puckett service streak there. And they were shook a little bit, but then to their credit, as you'd expect, a team that's done a lot of winning throughout their career, they've responded. Now they got a great opportunity to go 2-1.
Well, and we talked about in the first that it seemed like it kind of took Miami Trace offensively a little longer than we expected to get Lauren Guess involved. Well, she's certainly been involved over the last couple of sets.
Yeah, she really has, and Kylie Yazel just does such a good job. She gives Ferens and Guess an opportunity to always swing, and can't say enough about how hard Ackley works in the back row to try to keep that ball off the floor.
So set point here in the third for Miami Trace. It'll begin with a free ball over by Unioto. Yezel goes far side. Guess looks to end it, but she sails it over the back line. Unioto survives for just one more point.
Yeah, if you're Miami Trace, you got what you wanted. You got the free ball back over. You got the outside swing for Guess, and she just missed her back line. So now if you're Unioto, you survive one. You got to survive a couple more, and you get a good server back on the line to try to do it.
DePoy serves it away for the Shermans. Yezel bumps it outside, looking for Guess. A roll shot. It falls in. 25-22 as Guess ends it in the third.
Great answer for Miami Trace. They go to Lauren Guess, and she delivers. And Dewey, we thought we were going to be in for a long one tonight, and now Miami Trace got themselves knocking on the door of a 4-set opportunity.
Miami Trace takes a 2-1 lead headed into the fourth. We'll take a break. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
We welcome you back to Unioto High School. It's been all Miami Trace over the last couple of sets. They fell 1-0 after the first, but answered back with back-to-back 25-22 set wins in the second and third. A chance to walk away with it in 4 and head to the district semi next week. Here tonight in the Division III District Quarterfinal over Unioto. It's been more or less what we've expected, Shane. It's been a very back-and-forth match so far.
Yeah, it really has, and you know, if you're Miami Trace, you got to stay with it. You know, Unioto's obviously been in this situation before, even with the good record. They've had their share of 4 and 5 set matches throughout the year, so they're battle tested in that sense. And so if you're Miami Trace, you want to have urgency and try to finish this in 4. If you're Unioto, not time to panic. I think you just got to get back to getting a little bit better in that service game opportunity, and you've got to be able to get the block into the face of Guess and Farron's a little bit more. That it's not, you know, no pun intended, but it's not much of a guessing game on where they want to go. You've got to be able to get a double block out there and give her 4 hands to look at, see if you can just slow her down a little bit.
Set 4 coming up in a little under 30 seconds here at Unioto High School. The winner, obviously, as we mentioned, going on to the district semi next Tuesday, a 7 p.m. first serve against the winner of Marietta and Sheridan. That one over at the Jim Myers Gymnasium in Logan, one of the better sites for volleyball in our area, and one of those sites where if you're playing there, you know you've done something right this season.
It is. It's kind of like the combo in basketball, right? You get down there to Logan and you know you got quite the opportunity to put a great tournament run together. And you know, you look at this match here, Miami Trace and Unioto, we said coming in, we thought they mirrored one another and in a lot of ways, and I think the scoreboards kind of showcase that a little bit. That third set there, it seemed like they couldn't get rid of one another, tied at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then Unioto actually had a couple 2-point lead opportunities, and I thought they gave away a couple chances to maybe extend, but then to Miami Trace's credit, once they found the lead, they didn't let go, and they went ahead and put them away.
And we've obviously talked about where the advantages lie. Obviously, those have shifted from Unioto in the first more towards Miami Trace over the last couple of sets. So Stanley serves it away. The fourth set is underway here at Unioto. Near side, it's Farrens. Overpass from Anderson on the attack. It was Robinette for the kill. It's 1-0 Panthers to begin the fourth.
So important for Miami Trace to play out in front here. You know, when you're back, when you're trying to put them away, put the pressure on Unioto here facing the elimination.
Batson gets it to Stanley in the middle. A roll shot over to the Panthers' far side. It's Guess. Stanley the dig in the back row. Batson to Patterson near side down the line. Ackley keeps it alive. A nice play from the libero as Guess pushes it over with two. Here's Detweiler out of the middle. Panthers now on the attack. It'll be Guess far side. Anderson the dig in the back row. Batson comes to Patterson near side. Ackley from Miami Trace now. A free ball sent over by Farron. Batson goes to Detweiler. This time she's blocked and it falls back over to Unioto's side. Batson goes backside looking for White, and it'll fall in for the kill.
Good back and forth volleyball there. Pretty good defense on both sides, and Unioto's persistency and they're persistent in their balance and end up getting them a kill.
Yazel goes far side looking for Guess up top. Detweiler the block for Unioto.
Much better, recognizing where they want to go, and you'll notice Unioto had four hands up there with Detweiler and Batson, and makes a big difference. Just slow it down a little bit.
Yazel to Guess on the outside. Anderson digs it up for Unioto. Now Batson comes to Patterson near side, right at Keani Ackley. Now a roll shot from Guess back over to the Shermans now. Batson to Detweiler inside for the kill.
Like see Unioto kind of go after that middle a little bit more. I know sometimes they can get really balanced, which nothing wrong with that, but Detweiler's got a little bit of an advantage there in the middle here from a size perspective.
Yazel back to the middle. It's a roll shot from Guess. Now Batson to Patterson near side on the move. Ackley hits the deck to keep it off of the floor, and a free ball over by Ferentz. Batson coming near side, right back to Patterson. Ackley, another dig for Miami Trace. Now here's Guess far side. It'll fall in for the kill.
Nice job by Ackley just to keep the volley alive. Every time she does that, she gives Guess one more swing, and that time she gets a kill.
Yazel at the line for the Panthers. Overpass is spiked right back down. Lauren Guess ties it at 3.
All made possible by the serve, and Unioto felt like a little bit of interference over the top.
Yazel serve clips the top of the tape. Here's Detweiler inside. A nice swing on that second touch. Guess on the far side. It'll fall in front of the back line as Miami Trace takes a 4-3 lead.
Yeah, Lauren Guess working on a big time night. See, I had her up over 20. Now there was one ball in the third set. Could go either way on a scoring decision.
And a service there for Kylie Yazel will tie it at 4.
So right around 21 or 22 is where I'd have her right now. Remember, she had 9 in that second set. I thought that really helped turn the match back in their favor.
Yazel goes to Guess on the outside. It's dug up by Stanley. Now Depoy back to the middle as Grubbs gets it over on the free ball. Now on the second touch, Yazel got it over. It's quickly back to the Panthers near side. It's Carter. Nice play from Stanley to keep it off of the floor. Another free ball for Unioto. Yazel to Guess far side. Detweiler the block. Back over to the Panthers. Back right corner. Kylie Yazel sticks it in for the kill.
Yeah, high IQ play, recognizing Unioto scrambling a little bit, and she just picks out this spot. That's well executed.
And an attacking error for Detweiler. 6-4 Miami Trace.
So we talked about applying the pressure here. Let's see if Miami Trace can extend the early lead out to 3 or 4.
Stanley's pass to the right side goes out of bounds and ace from the line for Robinette. And a timeout for Unioto as they trail by 3.
Yeah, I think sensing the same thing I'm talking about. I like the early timeout. I don't think you can afford to allow the momentum to go here much past 7-4. So if you're Unioto, you got to get locked in on the Robinette serve, get a pass on target to Batson, try to go on the attack here. Really, really big sequence coming up here out of this timeout.
First time out of the set for either team is Gavin Patterson. Calls the timeout for Unioto. If you're just now tuning in, it was 25-16. Unioto took the first. And Miami Trace with back-to-back set wins of 25-22. They now lead here in the fourth. It's 7-4. The Panthers, the last remaining Frontier Athletic Conference team in postseason play, as Hillsborough dropped in straight sets to Logan Elm on the road in Pickaway County tonight. Detweiler takes the second ball, tight to the net. Grubbs runs out of room. The Panthers doubling up Unioto here in the fourth.
Again, throughout the year, the sophomore Robinette, she's had her struggles and efficiency, but you can see when she finds her contact point there and she gets on a little bit of roll, she can impact the set.
Tied to the net, Batson just does get it over on the second touch. Back over to Unioto now with Grubbs near side. Overpass from Miami Trace, flies out of bounds as they finally put an end to the Miami Trace run.
Well, if nothing else, you get Robinette off the service line. You cut it back to 3.
Yazel bumps it up. Ella Butts far side. A dig from Detweiler. Now near side, another opportunity for Grubbs, but she sends it into the net. It'll be Lauren Guess at the line for the Panthers.
She's got a timeout on the floor there, I think. A shoe. You're going to have DePoy, Patterson, and Stanley in serve receive here.
Bats it inside, comes near side for Charlotte Dennis. Down the line, the sophomore gets the kill.
That's what I'm talking about. I like to see Unioto exploit the middle just a little bit more. Detweiler and Dennis both averaging 3 kills per set, and they've had solid nights, but they haven't really had an opportunity to really take over a set. That would be a great time to get them going.
Tied to the net, and a free ball over by Carter. Now a Yazel to the far side. Farron's a nice swing. Near side, it's Grubbs. She pushes it over with 2. It'll be Carter setting it up far side for Farron. Nice dig from Patterson. Bats into Grubbs again. Near side, she sails it over the back line. What a play from Kylie Yazel just to keep that second touch off the floor.
Yeah, and that's why we say just anything to allow the volley to continue, and you stay in the point. As a result, you end up winning it.
It'll be Allison Carter at the line for the Panthers, and she sends it off the tape.
Yeah, you can just feel a little bit of the tension with Unioto facing the elimination here. They just need something to spark them a little bit. And if you're Miami Trace, you want to continue to apply the pressure.
And an ace from the line to bring the Shermans back to within 2, Libby Anderson. Yazel inside, front setting. Farron's able to sneak it past the block of White and Dennis to get the kill. It's 11-8 here in the fourth.
Yeah, and we talked about it all night. They just always have a go-to there on the outside, and it just it really makes it hard to get on a run against them.
Batson goes to Dennis, out of the middle for the kill.
Now Dennis will come out, Detweiler back into the front. I really, if I'm Unioto, I think I try to really attack in that middle there. I think that's where your advantage is.
It'll be Stanley at the line for the Shermans. Near side, Yazel keeps it off of the floor, but it goes out of bounds. An ace for Stanley.
Yeah, good response here from Stanley and the Shermans.
Yazel goes backside looking for Farron's down the line. Detweiler the block back over to the Panthers now. A roll shot from Yazel. Now inside, it's Detweiler into the back row. Dug up by Ferguson. Far side, Farron swinging away for the kill.
Yeah, Farron's talked in the interview with John Bruce the other night after their Athens win about the ability to change things up as the defense makes adjustments. You readjust, and she talked about court vision, talked about calling out some of the shots from behind, and just real impressed with her feel for the game and her overall volleyball IQ.
Here's Batson, the Shermans trailing by 2 with Patterson near side. Now Farron's on the second touch. She tried to sneak it in. Detweiler on the attack gets the kill.
And again, I really like what I'm seeing from Unioto here. If I'm Batson, I really try to ride the middle, especially in that quick action. Her and Detweiler been on the same page all year. Take advantage of that mismatch in the middle.
Yazel goes front side looking down the line for Guess, but there was no tip for the Shermans. It was wide left. We're tied at 12. Yazel goes right back to Guess. She changes up the tempo. The dig is there for DePoy. Again, DePoy keeps it off of the floor with Patterson near side. She tools the block for the kill.
Ava Patterson now 6 kills on the evening. Playing a pretty good fourth set here.
Here's Farron's right back to Guess, far side, off of the block. A nice play from Patterson. It'll be Stanley with the roll shot back over to the Panthers. Yazel on the second touch as Guess pushes it over with 2. Batson to Detweiler inside for the kill. Timeout, Miami Trace. This is the Shermans, who trailed by as much as I believe 4 or 5, have come all the way back to hold a 2-point advantage in the middle of the fourth set over Miami Trace.
And notice how the quick action in the middle, Robinette was there about a half second late. It comes at you so quick, and Detweiler's so powerful. She's able to tool that block even out of the middle, and Unioto now with the 2-point advantage and a great opportunity to try to push this thing to a 5th set. If you're Miami Trace, you want to come right out of the timeout, get right back in this thing. The closer you stay and you can get this thing into the 20s, point to point, the pressure shifts to Unioto big time because Miami Trace obviously up 2-1 in the match.
And Shane, you mentioned earlier on in the broadcast the rotation with DePoy at the service line has been a strong rotation for Unioto this season. They're +3 this time around currently with DePoy at the line, and a big reason why they hold this 2-point lead.
Yeah, it's been their biggest scoring rotation of the year. She comes into the night well over 200 points. So what that does is it tells you in this rotation, and you can see why, with the likes of a Detweiler in the front there and the ability to swing away. Obviously, she serves it really efficiently and with the high ace probability, which helps her as well.
Second touch from beyond the back line and a free ball over by Yazel. Inside, it's Batson looking for Detweiler on the kill.
And there's the formula we just highlighted. It's the tough serve that leads to the free ball. Right off the free ball, go to your go-to in the middle, and Detweiler delivers. And again, Miami Trace, it's their turn to adjust and make sure that Batson has to go somewhere other than the middle.
Yazel looking for Lauren. Guess far side. She tools the block off of Batson. It flies out of bounds. Kill for Guess.
Yeah, it's a tough outside block there for the 5-1 setter. Batson at 5'6". She got up there and got a hand on it, but just so good, so powerful.
So Yazel back to the line for the Panthers. They trail by 2. First serve clips the top of the tape, and it'll fall for the ace. Yazel, the top server in terms of aces coming into tonight for the Panthers. She's had a great night at the line so far.
Yeah, just so hard. All you can do is follow that ball in flight. You got to be ready for that.
Tied to the net, Batson able to flip it over, but quickly Robinette answers into the back right corner. She ties it at 15.
Yeah, good response here for Miami Trace. Now Anderson, Stanley, and DePoy, they really need a good serve receive here.
Batson bumps it back to the middle. It's a free ball over by Detweiler, but it falls for the kill.
Now, when I said Detweiler's having a big set, I wasn't talking about those types, but I'm sure she'll take it all the same. Dewey, just illustrate my point. Detweiler only had 9 kills through 3 sets, already has 5 in this set.
Yazel inside, out of the middle. Looking for Guess. She sends it a bit too far to the right side. It's 17-15. Unioto back out in front by 2. Guess bumps it up. It's a roll shot from Carter. Grubbs to DePoy. Back to Grubbs near side. Up over the tape. It's dug up by Ackley. The overpass is hit back down. Detweiler, I'm not sure if she got a hand on it, but definitely made it tough on Yazel to get that second touch back up. Another timeout for Coach Mason. The Panthers, they trail by 3.
Yeah, big time opportunity for Unioto now as they stretch it out to 3, and just got to continue to serve tough, avoid the errors here. If you can get the free ball to come back over. Obviously, Detweiler with the hot hand here in this 4th set.
18-15 here in the 4th. The Shermans took the opener. 25-16 Miami Trace, winning 25-22 over the last couple of sets to get it up to a 2-1 lead in the match. Both teams eyeing that district semifinal matchup next Tuesday over at Logan. Winner of Marietta and Sheridan.
Such good depth in our coverage area this year. Volleyball has been a lot of fun. And if tonight's any indication, the postseason is going to be just as good, if not better.
So out of the timeout, it's Puckett to serve it away and past the back line. The Panthers now back within 2.
Well, sometimes the timeout can just do that. Sometimes it can just ice the server and kind of get her out of rhythm a little bit, and Miami Trace certainly will take that.
Robinette at the line for the Panthers. Batson inside, a jousting match with Guess. Guess won it and got it back onto the Sherman side for the kill. They trail by 1.
Yeah, tough ball there. Just a little bit of an overpass.
Here's Batson, a bump to Grubbs near side. A roll shot into the back row. She stuck it in for the kill.
Kind of a mature play there from the freshman. I thought she was going to try to do too much with it, but she realized she wasn't in position to take the full swing, kind of takes something off of it, delivers the kill.
Yazel near side, she'll keep it there. Guess down the line, tools the block for the kill.
Yeah, on that first time over, she'll hit out of that opposite side before rotating back to the strong side. She'll get the kill there. Now she'll go back to serve, which of course means Farrens will return to the strong side hitter.
Batson looking for Dennis near side. Strong swing for the sophomore. We're tied at 19 off of the service air, or excuse me, off of the hitting air. Batson bumps it to the near side. Dennis the free ball over to the Panthers. Jazel looking for Farron's far side for the kill. It's 20-19. Miami Trace out in front. And a timeout for Unioto.
Yeah, so you go back to the timeout at 18-15. You have the service error, and then you come back and you don't quite get on the attacks. Here with Batson in the front row, you just have the two hitter options, and Unioto with a little bit of the hitting error, and then they're just really out of system there. So Farrens with a big-time swing, and this becomes a pretty pressure point for Unioto coming out of this timeout.
And it's something we talked about earlier on in the match in this situation for Miami Trace. What do you got to do to close it out? If you're Unioto, what do you got to do to get back in it and force a fifth set?
Well, Unioto's got to pass the ball on target here. They've got to be able to give Batson a chance to go. I like the Dennis matchup on the outside. That last ball, they just were a little out of system and didn't quite get it tight to the net. Your Miami Trace, obviously on the attack, you know you're going outside the Farrens, but you also want to stay aggressive here in the service game and hit your spots.
So Guest serves it away for the Panthers. Here's Batson to Dennis near side. She changed up the pace. A block from Ella Butts. Back over to the Shermans, and it's a free ball over by Stanley. Far side. Farron swinging away for the kill. It's 21-19 Miami Trace.
Yeah, and again, Unioto had an opportunity, couldn't really get on a good attack. And once you give away your attack opportunity and Miami Trace is in system, you know they're going to come with a big-time hitter on the outside no matter what rotation they're in.
And an ace from the line for Miami Trace. His Guest gives the Panthers a 3-point lead here in the back half of the fourth set.
It sits it in the body language of Miami Trace. They can feel that push three to win it in four here.
Batson comes to Dennis near side. She sends it into the net. The Panthers just 2 points away from moving on to the district semifinal round. Guess's serve will fall in. Another ace for the junior Lauren Guess. It's match point for the Panthers.
Yeah, outstanding. Just shows off the whole arsenal, even from the service line here.
Guess serves it away. Batson goes to Dennis near side into the back row, and she's able to get the kill. So the Shermans not done just yet.
Yeah, they survived the match point. Again, that's there when they get in system. We've talked about that matchup at the net when Detweiler goes across the front and when Dennis goes across the front.
So Batson serves it away. Yazel goes to Farron's far side, up top. Corey Grubbs and Charlotte Dennis on the block for Unioto. They trail by 3.
Yeah, 1 point at a time. That time your defense gives it to you. Batson's a good one to have on the line here because she serves it at a high percentage.
Yazel goes right back to Farron's far side. Dug up by the Shermans. Batson comes to White. Roll shot back over to the Panthers. Yazel to Farron's on the attack. She'll push it over with 2. Here's Batson out of the middle. It's Dennis into the back corner. It's long. No tip for the Panthers as they win it in 4.
Outstanding job for Miami Trace. Come on the road. They fall behind 1-0. Come back 22-21, and just an outstanding match, and Miami Trace, again, going to be a tough out as they move forward because, again, as we've highlighted coming in, it was really on display tonight. You're never going to find them in a bad rotation because they're always going to have an elite go-to on the outside.
We mentioned this was a road-tested team. 2/3 of their matches this season have been away from their home gymnasium, and that road test description of them really came out here tonight. As again, you mentioned they fell down 1-0 after the opener. 3 consecutive set wins to move on to the district semi.
Yeah, maybe a little bit taken back early in that first set. Remember, it was looking back on my notes, it was the Kylie Puckett run. She had 2 or 3 aces in there. They jumped out 4, 5, 6 point lead, and Unioto kind of controlled that first set. I thought as they went into the second set, I liked how they flipped some of the matchups, and Lauren Guest really got going, and Barron's did come on after that first set as well. We'll go over the stats here in just a little bit, but those two really started to go to the next level starting in that second set.
Miami Trace moving on to the district semifinal down at Logan next Tuesday. They'll have the winner of Marietta and Sheridan, potentially a rematch with Marietta. We saw that one earlier on this season. That was one of Miami Trace's non-conference losses. So the Panthers win it in 4 sets here tonight. We'll take a break. Stick around for stats and final thoughts from Unioto High School. You've been watching Ohio High School District Tournament Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
Look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student-athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget, as well as 60 months, 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. 1 chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
We welcome you back to Unioto High School. The Miami Trace Panthers moving on to the district semifinal next week with a win over Unioto tonight in 4 sets. We've talked about it all night long. It's a Miami Trace team that was very prepared coming into tonight. They've been battle-tested all season. They've obviously acknowledged that in that interview after the win over Athens, and that certainly was quite obvious on the court here tonight.
Yeah, the way they responded after set 1 was really impressive. And what I liked about it is if I was looking at their identity coming in, that wasn't really on display in that first set. I thought they were really out of rhythm. They just were out of character a little bit. If I was going to summarize the adjustment, I thought they just got back to who they are. I thought they got back to they're always going to struggle a little bit back and forth in the service game. They've had their troubles this year with some misses. They've had some trouble in serve receives. But the one thing they're going to do at an elite level is they're going to set it and they're going to hit it on the outside. And they got back to that. And Kylie Yazel just did an outstanding job. Congratulations to her. I believe unofficially that puts her over 2,200 assists tonight. Just a junior. So she's got a chance at like a 3,000 type of career. And, when they got a little bit of the matchup flip, where he flipped the rotation a little bit, Lauren Guess really got going, because I had Guess for 4 kills in the first set, Lauren Ferens for 2. And then after that, listen to some of these numbers. Guess goes 9 in the second, Ferens goes 5. And then in the third set, Ferens with 5, Guess with 5 or 6, depending on how you want to score one. And then in that final set, Ferens gets 4. And again, Guess gets 5 or 6, depending on how you want to score them. So you add all that up, Lauren Guess has somewhere around the 23 to 25 mark tonight, unofficially, depending on how they're going to score a couple. And then Lauren Ferens was 16. Kylie Yezo even added in the 4 and had the 3 or 4 aces. Robinette with 4 kills. Carter did a nice job at the net. Ackley passing there in the back row does such a good job. Ella Butts early in the match with some presence defensively, and just overall really good team effort as Miami Trace got back to its identity there in that second set and really started the roll. On the Unioto side, I thought they had some advantage in the middle, struggled to really get to it until the fourth set, maybe a little too late. Detweiler with 14, Dennis with 9. Kayla White, I thought, was really good early. Didn't get as many opportunities late. She had 8. Ava Patterson, another senior, was 6. Grubbs, the freshman, with 4. Batson from the setter position had 3. And again, I thought highlighting some of the seniors for Unioto, Dewey, that have played their final match here. Thought Ellie DePoy was outstanding this year as a server and a passer. I mentioned Detweiler with the 14 kills tonight. Another senior would be Kayla White, again with 8 kills. I thought she played really well early, as I said. Ava Patterson the same way. She's a senior. Alyssa Stanley, as I said, kind of a back and forth position change. Unofficially, I've got her up real close to 800 assists and digs in her career. And then Piper Frump is a senior on the roster here. Didn't get in tonight, but I know earlier in the year we'd watched her get in and get some time as well. So Unioto going to say goodbye to a pretty good senior class, and Miami Trace going to continue this tournament trail. And again, they're going to be a tough out because, again, they're always going to be able to come at you.
And I think one of the talking points from tonight's matchup, obviously you're going to talk about the center play of Kylie Yainzel and the 2 big hitters in Ferens and Guess, but I really think the likes of Kiani Ackley, Brianna Robinette, Allison Carter, and Ella Bunce really played well in those complementary roles tonight as well.
I agree. It takes the whole team to make it go. And Ackley does a really good job. She's back there. She competes hard as a sophomore, playing her first varsity year as the libero. Comes in around 4 digs a set, 4.5 serve receive. I'd say she's well on those numbers. I don't keep those stats. I'd say she was well on those numbers tonight. And I agree. There's something about Robinette and Carter especially. Their intangibles are really, really good. They have a good feel for their role. You can tell they're very unselfish. And they just do kind of what they need to do to impact winning. And the coach in me can really appreciate that. Anytime you see a kid that just absolutely puts it all about the team and, hey, coach, whatever you need me to do to win, man, that's fun to watch, and that's when you can really come up on a special team.
And it really felt like Allison Carter and Ella Bunce, whether it was blocking shots or really just altering shots, played a really nice game above the net for the Panthers tonight as well.
I agree there as well, because coming in, I felt like it's a little bit of a weakness of Miami Trace. Again, that might be nitpicking a little bit, but sometimes because their lead hitters get to the outside, they don't always have enough presence, in my opinion, defensively at the net. So, again, when Ella Butts was able to put up a block, when Carter got involved a little bit, Robinette, those are big impact plays. Even if you don't get the block, if you can just get a touch or funnel that ball, it makes life easier for Ackley and other kids in the back row.
And we don't have a winner yet between Marietta and Sheridan, but certainly the performance we saw tonight for Miami Trace, they're going to need it again next Tuesday against the winner of Marietta and Sheridan.
Again, as they run into this level, again, they're going to have some matchups that probably aren't in their favor at certain parts of the net. But I'll go back to the point that I've been making all night. What's going to help them stay in any set at any time is they're always going to have that elite option on the outside. So if they do serve it well and if they serve receive it well, they're going to have a chance to be competitive in any match they play.
And the one match that we already saw this year between Miami Trace and Marietta, that was a best-of-3 match that Marietta won in 2 sets. I don't think those 3-set matches, you can necessarily take those at face value. I think Because obviously here tonight, Unioto would have been knocking on the door of a match win if it was best of 3, but when you go best of 5, it definitely changes things up.
No, good point there as well about the 3-set match, but I do think that could be a valuable film. It could be a valuable matchup thing, like, hey, where can we set up some of our matchups? Where are we at a disadvantage? How can we play around that a little bit? And obviously having the elite coaching as you go into that next round will play a big role as well.
Now, Shane, for us, it looks like we are out of action until, I believe, next Wednesday or Thursday is when those Division IV district semifinals. Now we're obviously talking about the Galley Academy, Logan Elm, Circleville, and then whether or not it's Waverly or Marietta in that 4th spot is yet to be determined. Those 2 teams are playing here tonight. So, actually, I think I said Marietta and Waverly. It's Waverly and Warren
yep.
are those 2 other teams, but that should be a fun Final Four in the Division IV bracket.
Well, we highlighted that all year, and when the brackets had ended up coming out, we just couldn't turn that one down. Oftentimes we'll do the Waverly stuff because it's local and you can get so many teams. But we really feel like that Division IV is going to be high-level volleyball as those 4 teams come. So we'll get those final there. And then we'll still have every opportunity with Division V because remember, the advantage of Division V having so many teams, our coverage area will send 3 of our teams to the regional. So when we pick up the regional, we're getting our teams that we can cover in the Sweet 16.
I believe last year it was Zane, Trace, Adina, and then I think Huntington, it was Wheelersburg, and I think Union Local was the extra team in there.
Yeah, and then we got to watch Adina make that special run. And this year, if you look at the seeds, it's kind of like a heavy favorite for Adina, New Lex in Wheelersburg. But again, you're going to have some SVC flavor in there, playing some of the underdog upset roles. And we'll see. There's some really, really good volleyball coming up there at Waverly as well on the D5 side.
All righty, well, that'll wrap things up for us here tonight. Again, look for Shane and I next week in the Division IV district tournament down at Logan with those 2 matches, and then obviously the district final on Friday, which the best 2 teams out of those final 4, you can only imagine what kind of matchup that would be at the Jim Myers Gymnasium, and we've had a lot of good matches over at Logan.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I'm really excited about the postseason volleyball that we have ahead of us.
So the Panthers take tonight's Division III District Quarterfinal in 4, 3-1 over Unioto, advancing to the district semifinal next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. First serve at the Jim Myers Gymnasium.
Oh, football tomorrow night too. Miami Trace people listening in. We'll be, Carson Francis and I will be over your way. Jackson comes calling what should be a big-time football matchup.
I think in terms of just stakes on the line, could be the biggest game in Southern Ohio in Week 9. Jackson and Miami Trace, is whoever comes out of that one is ultimately going to be in first place all alone atop of the FAC. And, depending on, if Jackson's going to win, they'd have a test the following week against Chillicothe. And Washington Courthouse has had a sneaky good year as well. One of the more air raid-ish teams. They like to throw it around a lot over in Gardner Park.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you said. John and I talked on overtime about how we felt like the FAC's really had a step forward as a conference this year. And boy, is that going to be on display tomorrow night.
All righty, well, again, that'll wrap things up for us here tonight. For Shane Combs, I'm Dewey Daly saying so long from Unioto High School. You've been watching Ohio High School District Tournament Volleyball here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.